Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carolynn Bernier. I am the coordinator of the CIRPASS 2 consortium. And in this brief presentation, I would like you to give some general information about the CIRPASS 2 project. So just a brief summary. So the CIRPASS 2 was the winning consortium to a Digital Europe call that was published in 2023. We have a budget of more than 12 million euros, and this is an innovation action project. So this means that the technological readiness level that is aimed through the outputs of the project are relatively high, TRL levels of 8 or 9. So very mature technologies. I'm from CEA. CEA is a French research institute with a mission of innovation for industry. And CEA will be serving as the coordinator of the consortium. So the consortium is quite large. There's 49 partners. And we are kicking off in May 2024 with a project duration of 3 years. So the project has 4 objectives. The first one is to deploy and validate at scale and in real-life settings digital product passports in 4 target value chains. So we will be focusing on textiles, electronic products, construction products, and tires. And we, in the call, we were asked to demonstrate the DPP in B2B circular activities, because that is the main objective of the digital product passport, is to support circularity. While we will be doing this, we will be supporting the ongoing CEN-CENELEC standardization work. So, of course, to do this, we're going to have a large number of pilots. I'll go into this a little bit more detail later. But one of the fundamental aspects of the project is we want to demonstrate cross-pilot interoperability. So I see a lot of digital product passport pilots all over Europe, and that's fantastic. But the challenge we're addressing here is making sure that all of these different pilots are interoperable. Another target we're looking at is to provide support to SMEs in the uptake of DPPs, and this often means supporting the deployment of DPP as a service. And finally, we want to support the deployment and adoption of DPPs by other sectors, okay, that may be targeted by upcoming European regulations and beyond Europe, of course. So what exactly is the problem that we're trying to solve with the DPPs and the DPP system? So the problem is, how can we ensure that all industries and all industrial sectors agree on a common DPP system that is compliant to the requirements of future regulations and that is capable of supporting the massive issuing of DPPs as of 2027, because this is the requirement of the battery regulation, mandatory DPPs in February 2027. Okay, so this is why the primary objective of this call is to support the at-scale issuing of DPPs in several sectors, but also demonstrate its use in downstream business models. A very important thing to understand about the digital product passport is that it starts to exist when a product is being placed on the market by an economic operator. And that economic operator will be defined in the regulations. So even if some data is transitions over a supply chain, the DPP is not interested in what's happening here. The DPP starts its existence as a digital tool from the moment that product is being placed on the market. And it's going to be used by some users and circular activity operators, such as repair, remanufacture, recycle, etc., downstream from that moment. Okay. Similarly, at the same time that we're trying to solve problem number 1, which is the regulatory problem, we also want to find a system over which all industries can agree to have a DPP system that is extensible and flexible enough to support beyond mandatory data exchanges in order to enable new circular business models. Okay, so we both are targeting on regulatory uses of the DPP, but also beyond regulatory uses of this technology. Indeed, we believe in CIRPASS and in CIRPASS 2 that the DPP is a tool that can link the European internal market to the data economy, because we have this small core set of mandatory elements. We have a core set of standardized data exchange protocols, and we have a core set of sector-specific mandatory information that will be defined in the delegated acts and other EU regulations. So this is what we'll call the mandatory European DPP. But around this mandatory core, we can imagine a lot of non-mandatory technologies and uses, etc. And so CIRPASS 2 will address both, and simultaneously will address both of this core and beyond core uses of the DPP. I won't go into the details of all of this because each one of these terms would require a bit of discussion. So we are here right now. We are at the start of year one of CIRPASS 2. And the ESPR is currently in its final days and weeks before it is formally adopted. But we're pretty sure that this will happen correctly, of course. And while this is ongoing, of course, there's the Senelec standardization request that was started at this winter and will run until the end of 2025. So, of course, during the entire beginning of CIRPASS 2, supporting this standardization effort will be one of the main goals of CIRPASS 2. And here, just to say that we have mandatory DPPs for batteries, which will come into effect near the middle of year 3 of CIRPASS 2, and mandatory DPPs for textiles, which would likely become mandatory at the end of CIRPASS 2. Okay, so we're on a very tight standardization and regulatory timeline. So if you've heard me speaking from CIRPASS, you will know that for CIRPASS, the DPP system is an information system for the circular economy. We want maximum creativity. We want maximum number of service providers. We do not want a winner-takes-all type of approach. We want a system that is extremely flexible and inclusive and able to address the different specificities of different sectors, okay? Because otherwise it will be impossible to align on a single system, okay? We believe that we need flexibility to transition to a circular economy. It's difficult to know what technologies, circular technologies will emerge and what needs for data will emerge. Since we have this really tight deadline, we need mature state-of-the-art technologies, but technologies that are built for interoperability and for flexibility. And we need a system that can be deployed at low cost. Okay, so as I said previously, CIRPASS 2 is a deployment project, so a technology deployment project with an objective of TRL 8 and 9. So here, there are several research and technology organizations such as CEA that are participating in the project. But here, we're not here to develop new technology. We're here to support the deployment of existing technologies in industries where these technologies are not present today. Okay? So the problem, the fundamental problem we're trying to solve is not a technological problem. It's a data interoperability problem. And I could talk a lot about semantic interoperability. So here you have the list of the 49 CIRPASS 2 partners. In white, you have the partners that were already present in CIRPASS 1. And in yellow, you have the new partners that are now that are in CIRPASS 2 consortium. You will note that there's about 2/3 of new partners. This does not count all of the pilot ecosystem partners and it does not count the expert working group partners. So that means that the CIRPASS 2 consortium will be more on the order of several hundreds of partners. I briefly mentioned the CIRPASS 2 expert working groups. So these are support groups that will be convened at regular intervals and that will focus on specific topics. The idea here is that we need to gather experience and expertise from an even wider group. And so on this slide, you see the purpose of these expert working groups and the level of commitment that we expect from expert working group partners. And if you're interested in one of the topics that is presented here on this slide, just send me an email and I will sign you up until we reach a limit of 100 organizations per group. Okay, so of course CIRPASS 2 cannot work unless we have pilots. And in CIRPASS 2, there will be 13 pilots. So what is a pilot here? So a pilot is an ecosystem of partners, including a leader. Okay? And the ecosystem partners will combine both partners that will have to issue DPPs for their products, and also partners that will be using DPP data to do something circular with the data, okay, in a B2B context. And something circular, here I'm referring to the 9 R's of the circular strategies here, from refuse to recover. And so the different pilots will be looking at different R's, depending on the use cases they want to target. Okay. So in this table, you have a very condensed view of the 13 CIRPASS 2 pilots. So in this column here, you have the leader, and you will notice that many of them are potential future DPP as a service providers here. Okay. Then we have the typology of partners that will be upstream, meaning what is happening before the DPP is issued and from the moment and who will be issuing the DPP. And then you have the targeted circular strategies that will be implemented by the pilot. And here you have the typology of the partners that will be doing something circular with the data in the passport. Okay, this is much too long to describe in a few seconds, but hopefully we'll have more information on these different pilots on our website soon. And if you look at the targeted products here, we'll have 6 pilots around textiles and mattresses here, and 5 pilots on electrical and electronic systems, 1 pilot on tires, and 1 pilot on construction products. So the pilots were asked to commit to a number of things, of course. So first they had to commit to participating along with the other sector partners towards building a common sectoral upper level ontology that will be aligned with the DPP system ontologies. I asked them also to agree on communicating widely on their implementation effort, their challenges, and the lessons learned. They had to accept the risk and accept the agility needed to adapt to a very fluctuating standardization landscape and regulatory landscape. And I asked them to respect the very high variety of DPP technical solutions and not try to impose their own solution. And finally, they had to accept the CIRPASS 2 IP rules, which will target the development primarily of open source software developments. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention.